Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1. And we are going to read verse 1 to 2. Verse 1 to 2. I want to share with you briefly something I call problems are important. Problems are important. Problems are important. Problems are important. As a Christian, we are lured into Christianity or other religions on the basis that when we come into them or when we come to them, our problems will be solved. Whether it is Islamic religion, it is any occultic group, or any association, including Christianity, we are told that the moment we come into it, our problems are solved. So we find ourselves running into these things, believing that our problem will be solved. But we do not realize that the Bible is saying something different. The Bible is specifically saying something different. Because we believe that if we become Christians, we give our life to Christ, everything will be solved. But the Bible is saying different things. The Bible is telling us that as long as you live in this world, you will have troubles. You have tribulations. You have problems. So for us not to be frustrated in our Christian life, for us not to be frustrated in our life in general, we need to recognize that problems are important. Problems are very vital for life. If you want to live a very relevant life, a life of significance, you have to understand that you are on this earth to solve problems. When you read Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 to 2, you will discover, let me just read it. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Let me read it one more time. Say, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He created the heavens and the earth. After creation of heaven and earth, the next thing you will read are problems. He said the earth was without form. He created something, but the earth was without what? Form. It was without form and it was void. And darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Brothers and sisters, please, if you get this today, you will discover that your Christian life will be very easy. Anywhere you hear darkness, it means what? Problems. After God created heaven and earth, he said the place was void and there was darkness. God has not started speaking again. So in your life, the first things you will notice in your life are problems. That's the darkness. It was after God started speaking and he spoke, let there be what? Light. And then darkness did what? Disappeared. We always want things to work and we hope there is no problem. But it doesn't work like that. Look at Genesis chapter 1. There was a problem first after creation. Some people get married and they expect that, oh wow, it's just going to be a very joyful joy in everything. But suddenly they discovered that there's a problem. It can be financial problem. It can be any other kind of problem. It can be war. I didn't know that when you sleep, you snore. Why are you snoring? See, that's who I am. When you sleep, the way you play karat in the night. If you don't solve those problems, you cannot go further. Darkness. God himself had to solve problems after creation. He created and there is problems. So problems are not things that are strange to man. There are things that we have to face. Today in the world, we have a problem. We have a problem right now in the world. And what is that problem? Coronavirus. That's the problem we have right now. And I can assure you that because we have that problem, everybody is challenged. And if anybody is able to provide solution today, that person will become relevant. How many of you believe that? If anybody can come up with solution today, you become relevant. That's why I said that problem is what? Important. Problem is what? Important. You should be looking for problem to solve instead of running away from problems. The church has made people not to think about solution. We don't think about solutions anymore. We want things already done for us. But the point is, if you can solve any problem, you will become important in life. You become relevant in life. So you have to decide, what problem do I want to solve? Is there any problem that I can solve? In this life, you are remembered for two things. Please listen. You are remembered for the problem you solved or the problem you created. Two things. You are remembered for the problem you solved or the problem you did what? Created. But if you want to leave a legacy, if you want people to remember you after you die, millions of people die every day. If you want to be remembered, if you want to help humanity, you must decide from tonight that you're not just going to live and say, hey, things are going to be the way it's going to be. No, you have to decide and say, what problem is available that I can solve? I've just mentioned to you about the state of things and what we are going to be doing in the church for the coming time. What problem can you see there? What can you see? And if you see it, how can you solve it? Because the solution you will give, not only saying this is what you're supposed to do, no, the solution you will give and actually carry out will make you relevant for this period. I can assure you that with what just happened now, many people are going to be prominent because they are providing solution. I watched one lady, Hurricane Katrina. This lady's house was blown off, destroyed. She looked at it and said, wow, my house is blown off. This is an opportunity to be a millionaire. She went into real estate. But before she went into real estate, she was helping to clean up the mess that Katrina did. She started to clean up the mess. As she began to clean up the mess, she began to learn how to clean up. She bought she went to rent heavy equipment machines and began to clean up. And from there, today she has equipment to clean up anything, and she became a multimillionaire out of a problem that was created. We are all talking about corona this, corona that. Yes, coronavirus is a reality. It's going to impact every aspect of our lives. We as Christians, the problem is not the issue. There is a problem. But which part of the problem can we solve? Repeating the problem is not necessary, but which part of this problem are we going to hold on to solve? Are we going to decide that we are going to help the old people? We heard our sister there talking about how they have been asked to come and help at her work. What are we going to do? Are we going to stand and support her with prayers, with everything? Which role are you going to play to make you relevant in this period? Or are you just going to fold your hand and say, it doesn't concern me, I will just do my own thing? No. God knows that we will be on earth at this time. He knows that this problem is going to be there. He knows his church is there. He knows that we need to use our mind now and then look for how we can solve the problem. Which part of the problem are you going to solve? Some people have already made up their mind. They are just going to keep quiet and watch what pastor is going to do. If he says something wrong, they challenge him. You can challenge me. At least I'm thinking. At least I'm thinking. I've not slept well for all these days. I come here, I sit the whole day thinking, how can we still be able to serve the people when this problem is there? And thank God today, Pastor Mane came up with the idea. And we brainstormed. And in his ingenuity and his very sound mind, as a strategist, he came up with things. And we all work on something. That's it. You cannot just sit down. I'm challenging all of you and say, okay, that's what it's going to be. I'm just going to wait until pastor says something. When he says, then I'll see if I want to, I don't want to. No. These are people that have been trained for many years. All of you that are in this team, there is nobody who have not been in this team for more than 6 years. Some of you came in 2014. You have been here for more than 6 years. If you are a soldier, you have been trained for 6 years. You already know what to do. If you are in a university, you must have graduated by now doing your master's. If you are reading medicine, by now you can do simple medicine, general medicine, you can practice it. If you are a teacher, you are already climbing now. Whatever, if you are training to be a pilot, by now they will be allowing you to do some short flights, having been trained for this period. So you cannot tell me you don't know what to do. You cannot tell me that in this crisis, you don't know how to put action. You cannot tell me that in this time, you don't know how to motivate your team to say, come, this is the team Pastor has been talking about. Go to the YouTube there and listen to his messages. He preached one on the 27th of October, how to stay focused in times of troubles. Go and listen to it, and it will encourage you. The young people, some of them are discouraged. They don't know what to do. They call you. You are panicking even more than them. You don't even know what to tell them because we just feel that, hey, this is happening. But don't forget, God has given us power. We are now in darkness. This is what we call darkness. Sometimes we are in darkness in our life. Darkness is when there is problem. We don't have solution yet. Light is when you have a solution. The world is in darkness right now. Money cannot solve it. Personality cannot solve it. Position cannot solve it. Nothing. But at the same time, we have to stand up and say, hey, there's a problem. What do I do? How can I be useful to myself? How can I be useful to my family? How can I be useful to the church? How can I be useful to the community? I'm not going to hide in one corner and do nothing. Because after this whole thing, some people will be given medals for what they have done. Some people will receive medals of honor out of what they have done. Some people will be applauded. Some people will be decorated because of their role in what is going on now. Every day I pray for the nurses who are in the war front there. They are in a war front. Yeah. They are in a war front. I pray for them, for God to cover them. I pray for the government. I pray for the government because they are working 24/7. They don't have time to rest. They have to make the right decision to keep us alive. They have to make a decision that is balanced so that we don't say they didn't do anything. They have to make decision. Are we going to stay at home or go out, go to work, go to shop? What do we do? It's not easy for them. I don't criticize anything they do. I pray for them to have strength. Some of them have never slept for the past 5 days. They just keep their eye. They just rest for 30 minutes. They keep on going. Their brain has to work. This is not the time to be complacent. This is not the time for anybody to pursue you. This is the time to stand up and be counted. This is the time to be relevant in a very little way. If it is prayer God is leading you to pray, then pray. If He's leading you to encourage people, encourage people. This is a dark, dark, dark period. There is a problem down, and we have to stand up. If you have not been kind, you have to be kind by now. If you are not being sweet, you have to be sweet by now, because everybody is carrying a load. Don't make the load heavier with anybody, even at home. There is a problem. We need to have solution. Your solution to issues is what makes you relevant. The reason why you are relevant is because you have solutions to issues. If you don't have solutions to problems or issues, you will not be relevant. Make yourself an expert in problem solving. Become an expert. People look for experts. They look for experts. Now, this whole thing is happening. Which part of it do you want to specialize in? Find it, study it. When you talk about it with authority. And you know what you are talking. You are not just guessing. It will require your time, require your energy. Don't just say, yeah. Some people think that this is a joke. They say, yeah, it's one overdrive, or it's one overdrive. No, please, it's not. It's not. The doctor that raised an alarm in Wuhan, that there is a problem and the government did not listen to him, he died of the sickness. When he saw it, he raised the alarm. He said, the local town of Wuhan is not doing anything about this thing. They sent people to deal with him. And before they knew it, it was everywhere. And he himself lost his life in it. So it's not a joke. We are not in a joke. I'm not asking you to panic, but I'm asking you not to have this Christian attitude of, it doesn't matter. Let those there solve it. No, it is our problem. We need to pray for our people in the church. They are looking up to you. You don't have to be weak at this particular time. You don't have to talk weak. You don't have to be the weak person in the chain. You have to be strong. You have to encourage them. Even though you are afraid, you don't know what to do. You have to encourage them when they make contact with you. Because they will make contact with you. You have to talk with authority and keep them strong. You need to study what is going on and understand them. If you want to solve any problem, you need to understand the problem you want to solve. You need to study it well. Take time. Spend time to study the material so that you know what you are talking about. When you talk, you're not telling stories. But you know exactly what you are talking about. Go into details. If you receive a message, read it until you know exactly what it's talking about. If you have questions, call. I will explain to you. I received a message. It was a theory of conspiracy. I listened to it. I sent it to Bishop. I said, do you have idea about this? He replied me, oh yeah. Gave me his own answer because I didn't get clarity from it. I needed other clarities to be able to know what I'm doing, because right now, there's a lot of confusion all over the world. If you don't understand it, you will not be able to solve the problem. Like I said before, build on facts. Build on what? Facts. Build on truths. And build on principles. During hard times, when things are hard, when there is a problem, opinions do not solve problems. You start with facts. What are the facts on the ground about this issue? What are the facts? What are the truths about it? What are the principles? When you hold on to these three things, you begin to develop a method to solve the problem. What are the facts? What is the truth about this? How many people have died of this? How does it infect people? What way? Is it real? Are there people who have recovered fully? Which group is affected? How can it be affected? What do I need to do? Get the facts, get the truths, and get the principles. What do I need to do to make sure that this thing doesn't come in or spread? If it's already around, how do I kill it? Get the facts. That's how you solve problems. It's not by saying, oh, it doesn't matter, or you guess. No. You can talk about it from here till tomorrow. That does not remove the facts. It does not remove the truth. It does not remove the principles. It would still be looking at you like this. Say, Pastor, but we are Christians. Yes, we are. Being a Christian does not mean we should suspend our brain. Being a Christian means that we should actually use our brain. Most people who are very intelligent, when they come into a church, they preach to them until they become dull. They can no longer think. What they can do, they say God is going to do it. No, God gave us brain so that we can solve problems. I just showed you a problem that God had when he created the world. And we say we are like him. When he created the world, the whole place was what? Void. He had a problem. Maybe that's not what he expected. But I can shock you to one thing. God did not say, okay, I've created the world. If it's void, let it be void. Not my problem. I'm just going to relax myself. I'm going to relax myself. I've done what I have to do. Why should I be bothering myself? No, he went further and started solving the problem. Let there be light. Boom, there's light. Things began to separate itself until he got to the point of creating human beings. And human beings did what they did. He still went ahead to solve the problem. So God is a problem solver. That's why we must be like him. We must think in terms of solving problems. We must think in complex manner. Because our brain is complex. We must sit down, contemplate, think, and come up with complex solutions to issues. This idea of God is going to do it. It's good God is going to do it, but he gave us brain. We need to think complex things. Complex. This thing is happening now. We need to sit down and think. Read in between the lines. And not only rely on our feelings. Feelings won't work. If you want to solve problems, feelings will not work. What will work is reality. And what is the reality? Facts, figures, truths, principles. Maybe I'm too hard, but I just want to make sure that our church, we are people who learn how to live by principles and not by feelings. You cannot solve issues by feelings. You solve it by principles. We need to go beyond survival level. We need to go beyond survival level. At survival level, people don't like to solve problems. It's good for me and my family. It's good for me. I don't have any problem. But everything I need, I have it already. Come on. If God did that, he wouldn't even separate the darkness from the things he created. If he did that, he wouldn't even separate it. We need to get out of the survival mood. Because if you don't leave survival mood, you won't go for solutions. It is only when you leave the survival mood that you can seek solutions. Because when you get solutions, you are not only serving yourself, you are serving humanity and you are serving God. There are many things we are praying to God for God to do for us, which God will never do. You know why? He has left us here to do it by ourselves. He has left us here to do what? To do it by ourselves. So we need to begin to think. We need to begin to use our brain. We need to begin to go beyond the surface and go deeper. We need to be a church of thinkers. We pray, but we think. We worship, we think. We give, we think. We relate with each other, we think. We cannot suspend our brain. This problem now require practical solutions. Everybody saying we need sanitizers, we need sanitizers. Who is going to bring the sanitizer? Who? That's how you know a thinking church. Not only thinking, but active, practical. Who is going to bring the sanitizer? Is it going to fall from heaven? No. Human beings will bring it and donate it. Pastor, we need to take care of the people in the church. These are the sanitizers I bought. There are 3. Can we use it? That's how it works. Oh, the children have to be saved. Yes, we know. But what problem are you solving? Since you saw the problem, can you solve it? We don't only see the problem, we should also solve it. That is the period we are in now. Because you can say, okay, it's not my business. But it's not your business. You don't know who is going to be there first. We all have to come up with solutions and do something. We have to be our brother's keeper, according to what our Prime Minister said. Otherwise, we will not survive this difficult period. Believe me, nobody. Let me tell you the truth. It will be difficult for us to survive this period as a church and as a people. There are some people already who will say, okay, since there's no church anymore, they close everywhere. There is church anywhere, close everywhere. They will say, I just mind my business. You mind your business? You sure you mind your business? If anything befall you, who is going to be there for you? Oh, the church is not doing anything for me. Are you really sure? Are you sure nobody's praying for you? Today when we were talking, we said, this is when we will know those who are really committed to the church. Remember, I've been telling you since September last year. I said, something will happen. We will know those who are really with us. How many of you remember? Several times. They say, this man, what is he talking about? Obedience is tested when the person you are supposed to obey is not there. Are we going to obey God when pastor is not there? In the corner of our home, are we going to obey him? Are we going to do something to prove that we are Christians? This is the period. Some of you, I will call you and say, come quickly. Will I see you? I'll give you an assignment. Can you do this for us? Will you do it for the kingdom? One of the things you have to know is that we are not alone. God gave us power. In Luke chapter 10, verse 19, he said, what? I give you what? Power. I give you what? Power. So we are not empty. So, oh, pastor, you say we should solve problems. Yes, I say you should solve problems, but you are not empty. God give you what? Power. God give you what? Power. We have power. We have power. And that power is not only for prayers, it's also to solve problems. I pray that God will give me opportunity to teach on thinking. I will teach it for 1 month. Only thinking alone. If you don't think, nothing will come out. One of the processes of renewing your mind is begin to think. Some people say, I don't want to think anything that will give me headache. Give you headache? I have problem enough. I don't need to think. Are you sure? Just a little exercise of your mind can bring solution. And if you read Matthew, I think Matthew chapter 5 verse 13, he says you are the salt of the world. This is the time we have to be salt. We can go around and say, we are salt of the earth. Oh, sorry, 1.5 meters. We are the salt of the earth. We are the salt of the earth. You know that we're salt of the earth? If you are salt of the earth, then prove it. Salt provides solution. If you are eating spaghetti and it's not tasty, what do? You put salt. What does it do? It becomes tasty. Is that correct? Yes. If you are having diarrhea and you don't have imodin, what do? You put water, you put salt, you drink it. What is the salt doing? Helping you. If you have worms all over your house, what do? You sprinkle salt, it cut them into half. Salt does many things. Preservation, taste, color. Think about it. Before Jesus said, you are the salt of the earth. You are a light put on top of the hill. He's not joking. Christians, as Christians quote it, we are the light on top of the hill. You cannot be light put on the hill except you are a problem solver. The only thing that makes people relevant in this world is ability to solve problems. If you cannot solve problems, you are not important. That's why in the church I said, if you are not serving in the church, you are not active, you cannot be an influencer in the church. You cannot be relevant to anybody in the church. The people just see you, and that's where it ends. Because it's a principle of God. If you want to be relevant, you have to be a problem solver. I'll give you an example. Coco Chanel. How many of you know Coco Chanel? When did she start solving problems? Because some people will tell me, my age. When did that woman start solving problems? Anybody of you know? At the age of 70. At the age of 70, that woman started. I wake up. I want to change the way women dress. I want to give them good scent. When they spray it, it will be smelling nice. I want to dress them well. At the age of 70, who is thinking of dressing well again? Coco Chanel. 70! This woman started her own line of dress. She's dead now, but we continue to see Coco Chanel. Is that not true? Yes. She became a multi-millionaire before she died. Because she saw a problem and she provided a solution for it. How about Abraham? Abraham solved the problem. Before Abraham's time, it was not possible for one man to start a new generation. But Abraham started a new generation. He left his family and went away and started a new generation that is still there till today. How about Enoch? Enoch was the first person to prove to us that you can walk with God. You can walk with God in such a way until you become one with God that you just disappear. There's a level you become one with God, you disappear from this earth. Where you become a human, you become a spirit. Let's not go too far into the Bible, otherwise we say I'm quoting theology. How about Bill Gates? He saw a problem, he left university, went home, he said, one day everybody will have computer in their house. They said this man must be mentally deranged. He should be locked up. But there is no house now, we don't have laptop. We don't have computer. Is there any house? No, he solved the problem. How about Steve Jobs? Portable telephone for everybody. We all have telephone now. Every house has telephone. He did not start by looking for money. He started by solving a problem. Once you solve a problem and you are an expert in that problem, people will give you money and beg you with money. Let us stop looking for money. Let us start solving problems. Let us focus on problems. If we focus on problems, money will come. I work just like you. But the work I'm doing is solving the problem. I'm helping somebody to solve the problem he saw. He saw a problem. He established the company. I'm helping him to solve it. I can keep on calling names of people. But the point is, there are so many problems in the world. Identify one and become a solution provider. No matter how small it is. Once you are an expert, people will come looking for you. An expert, people will come looking for you. Just be an expert. It could be the way you read Bible. It could be the way you explain Bible. It could be anything. People will come looking for you. Don't say nobody knows you. The moment you are an expert in it, somebody will see you one day. God has a way of announcing somebody. Now, how do you do that? Number one, let's go quickly. Study. Number one is what? Study. How do you do it? Number one is what? Study. 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 Decide to study. Decide to study. Study. Educate yourself. Not only what you have read in school, but educate yourself in the problem you want to solve. Identify a problem and begin to educate yourself in that area. Educate yourself in such a way that you are just so knowledgeable in it. Because the way when you educate yourself so much there, your own ideas. Number two, discipline yourself. Number two, what should you do? Discipline yourself. Learn how to tell yourself, shut up, and do what you have to do. Don't complain. Nobody will be there. You will tell yourself that. Discipline yourself. If you want to study, you want to solve a problem, you don't have discipline, you can never solve any problem. Even when you are tired, you are weak, your body is telling you cannot do it, don't listen to your body. Do what you have to do. Number three, respond to problems about others and provide solutions. Let me give you one secret quickly. Respond to problems about others and provide solutions. Now, listen to me. I just gave you Bill Gates. Bill Gates did not respond to the problem he has alone. He responded to the problem for other people. It is when you respond to problem to other people that you can provide a solution. Look for what you will do that will make life easier for other people. Because if you solve only for yourself, you're only relevant to yourself, you're not relevant to anybody. So it must be something that other people can profit from. Is it clear? Yes. Good. Number four, live by goals, truths, and principles. Live your life by setting goals, applying truths, and principles. Do not live by reflexes. Can I explain that? Set your goals, know the truths, and know the principles, and live by it. If your vision is to reach, let me give an example. If your vision is to establish a company that will house every year 1,000 less privileged people in your country, and you started working on it, and you are being criticized, that is your goal. That is your truth. Your principle is to work hard and do it. People will criticize you. They will say different things. Do not respond to it. Do not change what you want to do because of what they are saying. That's the reflex. Some people, they say, I wanted to do this thing, people started talking, so I'm not going to do it again. Oh, come on. People will always talk. Yeah. If you don't do it, they'll say, he said he's going to do it. Only one word we said, he stopped. So, be focused. Don't follow reflex. I saw one statement I love. He said, if you keep on throwing stone at every dog that you see as you're on the way to success, he said you will never get to the where you are going. Any dog that barks, you go and pursue it. And now you go and pursue it. You will forget where you are going. You let them just bark as music, encouraging you are going. As long as they don't bite you. Somebody say amen. Amen. Somebody say amen. Amen. Number 5, look out for examples. Look out for examples that can motivate you. Look for people that have done what you want to, something similar to what you have done. Read about their autobiographies. Read about their stories. Watch movies about them and let them motivate you. Most people who have become who they are today, they solve the problem. Number 6, make up your mind to be relevant in life. Make up your mind that you want to be relevant in life. That means make a choice. I'm not going to live this life except I'm relevant. Make up your mind. I want to be relevant in life, no matter what. Well, no matter what it costs, I want to be relevant. I don't want to just have a stone put on my grave when I die. I want people to know me. I want to visit homes where I am not able to go. I want people in countries where I have never been to know about me and read about me. That's how I think. I don't need to come to your house, but you will hear me in your home. I don't need to come and have dinner in your home, but during your dinner time, you'll be listening to me. You have not met me, but you have read my book. Wow. I told you that this time we are going to change. We're not going to be talking sweet. I'm going to talk hard with you people. Make up your mind to be different. Number 7, learn to love people and God. Learn to love people and who? God. Love people and God. I put people first and then I put God. It is easier to love God, but some people don't love people. But if you don't love people, you cannot solve their problems. Learn to love them selflessly. Do things without expecting results. Do things with results, but do things without expecting thank you. In fact, don't expect thank you because it doesn't come easily. After you have done all you are going to do, people will look for the little thing you did not do in their mind or what they think you did wrong, and they will castigate you. Count it as a plus. Go ahead and still love people and do things for them. Still understand number 7. Set targets for what you are going to do for people. Hey, this is hard. People set targets for themselves, but set targets for what you are going to do for people. So I'm going to do this for people. That's how you become relevant in this world. You become relevant in this world by serving people. Like I said, we are remembered in this life for problems we solved, or the problems we created? People will remember you for the problem you solved or the problem you created. But it is better for you to remember for the one you solved. Because that's the one people would like to hear your name. Finally, do not allow your perception of the natural to derail you from your vision of serving God and man. Do not allow your perception, the way you see things in the natural, stop you from your vision. If you have decided to be a problem solver, do not allow how you see things to stop you. Just do what you have to do. I'll close with Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11. If somebody will read that for me, I will be very happy. Yes. Oh, you want me to take that? Okay. I said, do not allow your perception. Do not allow your perception. That means the way you view things of the natural to stop you from your vision. Right now, there is problem all over the world. Is that correct? Is that correct? Many pastors are thinking, what do I do? The most important thing is that, are you called? Yes. What are you called to do? To minister to the sheep. And God has given you a specific assignment. Yeah. This is a natural thing. It cannot stop you. Even if it's only one person you have to preach to, you have to try to preach to that person. If it demands that we have to go online, then we'll go online. Like the problem solving we are talking about now. Many people are saying, Pastor, what are we going to do? How many of you have thought about online? That going online is going to cost money and cost many things. Okay, Pastor, can we go online? I'm going to sponsor it. That's what we're talking. That's where we are going with the leadership team. Not if you are really in the leadership team, you have to be far ahead of the members of the church. In everything. So your perception must not be hindered by natural things. There's nobody who has succeeded in life that didn't go through troubles. A lot of troubles. Don't let that disturb you. The troubles does not mean that your vision has changed. The problem you want to solve did not change because that's your vision. Those natural things you see around you, they are things that will come and go. But keep your focus on your vision. Is it clear? Is it clear? Are you there already? Chapter, what chapter did I say? 9. What verse did I say? Okay. Somebody read it for me. Okay. If nobody, let me read my thing by myself. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to men of understanding, nor favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. Time and chance happen to what? To them all. What does that mean? Opportunity is presented to everybody. It means no matter your talent, your skill, your gift, your place of birth, your nationality, whatever it is, those things are not very important. The only thing that will determine how relevant you become in life is the opportunity you see and you grab and you use. That's what it means. That's what it means when it says, where did he put it again? But time and chance happen to them all. That means no matter who you are, time and chance is for everybody. If only you can see it. We are in that period now. We are in that period now to be relevant in our home, in our church, to ourselves, and our community. Time and chance is for everybody. Time and chance is for everybody. So we all are on the same line and the same place. There's no preferential treatment. We are on the same line. Time and chance is for everybody. Problem is not bad. Problem is good. Crisis is not bad. Crisis is good. Because during crisis, the best of you can come out. And the worst of you can come out also. God sometimes will orchestrate crisis to change your direction. He will allow it. So that you can, if he's pulling your attention, you don't come, he will create some crisis. So that you can change your direction and look. Who knows why God is allowing this? Because with one finger like this, Corona will die. I told you 2019, I've never seen a godless world like 2019, where people felt that there is no God. And people were behaving as if God never existed. Pastors were humiliated. They were insulted by everybody and anybody at any time. People went on the internet to prove that they are courageous by insulting people. The definition of courage was changed in 2019. If you want to be important, look for somebody who is doing well. Somebody who has built his reputation for years. Just formulate any story and humiliate the person. It became popular. People were no longer using their brain to investigate. The Bible says that in the presence of 2 or 3, a matter will be decided. We were no longer doing that. Only one person will hear from one person will conclude. Diviners, necromancers, voodoo priests became people who were talking for Christians. We became Saul, who went to the witch of Endor to hear what God is saying. Because God was no longer talking to us. But this year it will not be like that. Amen. Everybody is being shaken now. Everybody is shaking. So don't only see the crisis in a negative way. See it in a positive way. When was the last time that you and your husband and your children stay at home the whole day without anybody saying it's going somewhere? When was the last time? We're always on the move. We pray they do not do lockdown. And if they do lockdown, I tell you, the lockdown will kill many people.